Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the all-new 1 to 18 scale Mercedes EQS by NZG. This model has just come out. I was probably one of the very first buyers. I was looking forward to getting this model for many months, and I had eBay alerts and Mercedes-Benz email notifications all set. And the minute this got into the store, I was like, yep, I'm buying it. So now I finally have it and I'm going to review it. So first of all, Mercedes-Benz switched manufacturers. So the S-Class, the W223 S-Class, was made by Norev, which is a French manufacturer. But then for the EQS, they switched to NZG, which is a German manufacturer. Definitely less well known than Norev. NZG mainly does like commercial vehicles. I don't know why you would want to collect models of commercial vehicles, but they do. But they also did the C-Class, which I used to have, the W206, so the new current generation C-Class. They did that. And now they have done the EQS. So upon first impressions, it looks, great. I mean, I'm not an expert, so I'm relatively new to the whole model world. I can tell a crappy model from a good one, a good from a great one, but not necessarily a great one from an excellent or perfect one. So to me, this looks great, but I wouldn't be able to tell if it's perfect or not. It does look great visually. So it obviously comes in the Mercedes-Benz box, which is the standard Mercedes-Benz box. Unfortunately, I can't really show it to you because I've put it away. But it basically comes with a glove and a little tool to help you open the doors, because with these new Mercedes models, you've got these flat door handles. Obviously in the real car they pop out, they don't on the model. And you also get a screwdriver to help you remove the model from the packaging. So let's get cracking. So up front we have the full LED light bar. Obviously it doesn't light up on this model. There is a more expensive version of this model with two-tone paint. So when the EQS first launched, Mercedes, for the very first model year, they offered a two-tone paint job, just like the Mercedes EQ Concept or Vision EQS, whatever that was called, the concept version. So they did offer a two-tone version, and that model, so the model of that two-tone version car, that does have LED lights in front and in back, but I was like, that's just way too expensive, and it's not available yet at the time of recording. So this less expensive model doesn't have the LEDs in front, so the LED light up thingies. This just has LED. I mean, it's supposed to mimic the LEDs in the real car. It doesn't light up on this one. It also has the little stars, all neatly placed. No complaints there. Obviously, the vents are fake. They are fake on the real car, and all of these. But obviously these are functional on the real car. They are fake here. If this had been an Auto Art, so a more premium brand, they would probably be open, but they're completely closed here, as they are also on my S-Class. So I wouldn't have expected more. The wheels are 20 inches, so you can also get this model in a gray color with 21 inches, but I just didn't like the gray that much. It just didn't look as classy as this black does, so I chose to go with the smaller wheels version just because I prefer the color. But if you want the larger wheels, the 21-inch wheels, you can also get the gray version. For example, the S-Class does have 21-inch wheels. And then EQS written neat there. And this hilarious, that's not the charge port actually, that's for the washer fluid. Such a large port. And you got the pop-out door handles, which don't pop out on the model, obviously. It's open. So that's why we have a little tool, because all of these new electric cars, even the my Tesla Model 3, it has these pop-out door handles, which you can't really open on a model with your finger. Shouldn't even try it. There we go. So just insert into the crack, and then just pull it open. Oops. So the doors definitely snap. They're quite loud. Not as well damped as some others I've seen. So the interior, can we get the focus? So sorry for the terrible lighting. So we do have a very detailed interior with the large hyperscreen. So the S-Class comes with a normal sort of portrait style infotainment, and the base versions of the EQS also have that, but you can also pay extra to get this ginormous hyper screen, which is combined of 3 individual screens. So the driver's display up front, right here, and then the main central infotainment system, and in the far right, the passenger screen. So the model does have carpeting, like all of these sort of high-end models do. There is also Mercedes-Benz kick plates and the wooden trim, the different colors, the two-tone interior. So the dashboard is a different sort of brown color compared to the black of the rest of the interior. You've got the seatbelt buckles and the center console with sort of stripes, so the veneer. And yeah, even the little sort of control panel there is quite well detailed. So yeah, no complaints. But the closing of the doors is a little sort of hard. I'd say it could be a bit more damped. And also you don't have seatbelts up front. I checked and there don't appear to be any. Yeah, as I said, the doors do snap. Okay, let's get the rear. Yeah. So in back we have 2 screens. Once again, the Mercedes-Benz kick plates. We also have beautiful speakers, just like the Burmester system that you get on the real car. We also have the seat controls, all of them here. Actually quite well detailed, I have to say. I mean, they're really tiny controls, and the fact that they managed to recreate those is fantastic. Yeah, we do have seat belts. Hold on. I take my words back. This does have seat belts in front. I mean, you can see the seat belts here, right? Those are for the front seats. They're just pushed very far back, and that's why I couldn't see them first. The rear ones have seat belts as well. And yep, once again, you got carpeting. One thing I don't like about the EQS is that it's not quite as luxurious in back as the S-Class is or can be. So for example, with the S-Class, let me get it. Oops. Yeah. So with the S-Class, you have a full we have a full-length center console, so it just feels more like a private jet, more like a first-class cabin. And so one of the complaints that people have had about the real EQS is that in back it just doesn't have the same level of luxury that the traditional combustion engine S-Class does. And you can see with the models, the 1/18 scale Mercedes S-Class model does have a full-length center console because the car is available with one. But with the EQS, because the car isn't available with one, they couldn't put it in. Kind of sucks. I mean, if you want to make the S-Class of EVs, it needs to be an S-Class, and the EQS falls short in certain aspects. But the model is great, yeah. But once again, if you heard the doors of the S-Class closed, it's a lot more quieter. I don't know if you prefer that or if you prefer the snap of the EQS. So listen to the EQS go. It's quite loud. With the S-Class, it's a bit more. Yeah, I personally prefer that. It doesn't have to make a racket. But I guess for some people, it's just a bit more reassuring if the door snaps, like with a click. So in back, the biggest difference between the S-Class, the real one, and the EQS is that the S-Class is a traditional saloon, so it's got a saloon boot, whereas the EQS has a hatchback. So that's one of the things that gives, as different about these two cars. So for example, the EQS also has a load cover which sort of flexes. I don't know if it's removable. I also don't want to find out because it's an expensive model. I don't want to break it just yet. But yeah, thanks to the EQS's sort of more rounded shape, you can have a cargo area. So with a proper, where the cabin and the cargo area are one sort of one volume. Whereas with the S-Class, it's divided into 3 parts. Obviously, you've got the bonnet up front. So it's a 3-box design. You've got the bonnet, you've got the cabin, and then in a separate volume, separate box, you've got the boot. In the EQS, there's just 2. So technically the front, the bonnet, if it's not really a bonnet, you can't really open it. And then you've got the full passenger cabin and the cargo area in one single thing. So yeah, I mean, let's see if you can get a flash. Yeah, it's fairly detailed. It also has carpeting. And I think it's just more sort of softer and plusher than the S-Class, which is strange. I mean, obviously it's a model. You're not going to put your finger in there every single day just to feel the softness of the plushness of the carpeting, but it does feel a tiny bit nicer than the S-Class. Maybe that's just, my opinion. But yeah, all of the... It doesn't have a whole lot of badges. Neither model does, actually. I'm comparing it to my Noref S-Class. But whatever ones are there, such as the small EQS badge, the Mercedes-Benz badge, and the EQS license plate, they're all quite nice. The model also has suspension, so both up front and in back. And it is a lot better than the S-Class, not my Noref S-Class. I'm not talking about the real ones, obviously. So because this is a lot louder, see? If you prefer the car, and I mean, if you prefer to put more effort into it, so if you want the suspension to be harder, that you have to press harder to get it to work, compared to the EQS where it's almost effortless. You just press it and it goes down. It depends on what you prefer. I think the suspension on this Model S-Class is a bit too hard. I also had a Noref W222, so the previous generation S-Class, and that had the suspension was a lot softer there, and I just prefer that compared to this where it's just a lot louder, takes a lot more effort, and it's just a bit unrealistic. Same goes for up front, where it just requires a lot more effort to push it to get the suspension working, whereas with the EQS it's a lot easier. It just feels a lot more realistic, but depends on how you prefer it. One thing that I don't like about the EQS, the model of the EQS, is that it makes a lot of noise. I mean, that's a lot of componentry just making noise, whereas with the S-Class, now granted, these are just desktop models. They're not supposed to be played with. They're not supposed to get in the hands of kids. So it doesn't really matter what noise they make when they're being rolled. But point is, if you do decide to roll it, I mean, hey, you bought it, you can do whatever you want with it. So if I choose to roll it, I mean, it just sounds like it's breaking apart on the inside. Like, it doesn't give me the confidence to just keep rolling it like I can with the S-Class. I mean, absolutely no noise. Same goes for my Model 3. This is by Tesla. I don't even know who made it because Tesla doesn't tell you really. Once again, no noise whatsoever. Completely smooth. This does make a lot of noise, and also the wheels don't turn like, for example, they turn this way, right? They turn left, and when I turn right, it requires some sort of extra. There's a little sort of position where they get stuck, and then you have to put extra pressure to get them to go all the way right. Or so kind of there's a little point where they get stuck, and you have to sort of exert some pressure, and it just doesn't feel sort of harmonious and smooth like it does on the S-Class. This could be a one-off issue. I mean, this is one of the earliest models, I'm sure, because I was one of the earliest buyers, so that could be it. But the point is, this is still a retail-ready product. It's not like a pre-production model. This is something you can buy right now, so it is supposed to be perfect. I mean, they had sufficient time to fine-tune things, but apparently my model, hopefully it's just my single model, just makes a lot of noise. But that's it, yeah. So that's the 1:18 scale Mercedes EQS. I suppose it's the EQS 580, no idea. They don't really say. By NZG, a brand that I just haven't heard that much about. Or I've only bought one of their products, the C-Class. But yeah, it does look, visually it looks great, I think. Like my mom said, like, I gave her both cars and she was like, the EQS just looks a lot more premium. Whether she was referring to the color, or maybe the overall shape, or maybe the model just appeared more premium to her, I don't know. But her first impression was, this just looks more premium. So, I guess. And mom, she's not biased like probably I could be, she just doesn't know the first thing about model cars, so she'll probably give you her most brutally honest opinion. So according to her, this is more premium than the Noref S-Class. So yeah, that's I guess that's one type of verdict. The car also has a panoramic glass roof. Both cars do, as does my S-Class, my Model 3. from Tesla. And also, here's something cool. So the S-Class just has regular windows, front and back. With the EQS, the rear ones are tinted, like they would be on a real EQS. So I think that's just this tiny detail that makes it look a lot more realistic. So yeah, I actually quite like it. You've got the wipers, which are super fragile. I mean, I don't want to touch them with my finger anymore. So, yep, same goes for my S-Class. The one good thing, obviously, with the EQS is that you don't have the little Mercedes-Benz hood ornament. So if you're handling the model or if you're giving it to someone who isn't as experienced, you don't have to worry about things breaking off because there's no such danger up front. Although the fingerprints do show up because it's a black color. But on the whole, yeah, I mean, I haven't done like ratings for models, but I'd say this is a solid 9, apart from the creaking and the doors which are snap with loud noise. But really, you don't close the doors every single day on your model. You place it on your desk or in a glass case, like I have done, and you forget about them. Yep, I'd say a 9 out of 10, except for the creaking wheels and the loud doors. It is a fantastic model. And also well priced, less than 100 euros. Right now, obviously, I guess prices will go up in the next couple of months, years, as you know, once the production comes to an end and there's only a limited number of these on the market. Although I'm not sure, do people love the EQS enough to actually, you know, crave it? Like there's some cars like the new Bronco, the Suzuki Jimny, or even the S-Class, I guess. Or something like a Porsche Taycan, which are like hotcakes. You know, they come onto the market and people just buy them because they love the design so much. With the EQS, because the real car hasn't been received so well, I'm not sure there's a lot of people lining up to buy these models. I bought it because I was not a fan of the EQS, but just because I wanted to have it right next to my S-Class, which is a car that I am a fan of. So unless you're crazy like me and decide that you want to have the EQS just to put it next to the S-Class, but not because you actually like it, yeah, go ahead and buy it. But the model does look prettier than the real car does, so that's something. Alright then, that was it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.